beatboxing while we get this going. Not the best, but it's fun. Just getting some stuff set up, and then we'll be going here in a little bit. I'm going to leave the audio up just a little bit, and I know it's going to pick it up twice. Once through the audio capture and once through the microphone, but I don't care because I want to listen to some music, and I'm the only one in the office right now. Why can't I find what I want to do? There we go. Alrighty. I don't know. This microphone is so temperamental. Sometimes it picks up the music, sometimes it doesn't. But since I have the audio up just a little bit in the background, I might just leave it up so I can listen to it. Because I'm the only one in the office right now. And I want to listen to some music. But I also want to teach and stream and all that fun stuff, so. Alright, so I think I'm going to do some Redlines, and I'm also going to show kind of the flow that I use to get those Redlines onto my tablet, which I use for actually redlining. So here we go. Let's make sure everything's looking okay. First thing I need to do is decide what I'm redlining. Not a whole lot of options right now, but maybe I can get rid of all these test PDFs. I think we're going to do that. There are two things that we need to finish, and they're both fairly simple. So while that's opening, since for some reason, because our network is all funny, sounded like somebody was here, I can't just open the PDF from the network on my laptop. Something about my laptop doesn't have the right user setup since it's my personal laptop. So I end up needing to transfer it somehow, and the quickest way that I found to do that is to just use OneDrive or Google Documents. See, Google Drive for some reason is not syncing right now. I don't know what's up with that. But I do have my OneDrive cloud drive mapped so that I can just copy this over to my delineations folder on my OneDrive. And this is actually going to be under Godwin. It's so windy here, it sounds like somebody's downstairs. 1 second, let me go check. Nope, it just sounds like it. Alright, so I've got that copied, and I'm just going to go ahead and rename this to Redlines. And so this is the PDF, the original here, and I think really the only thing that I need to really check is I've got a detail over here. This isn't quite what I had in mind. This is what our technician came up with, and it's not quite what I had drawn up. In fact, I think I drew up this detail that I needed somewhere. Let's see if we can find this. But this is for the interior partitions for this building. And there were a couple things that I needed to kind of point out for it. I think everything else is in good shape though. I think it's maybe just this one detail. Oh, we also need to add notes for the screen. So while that's working on what it's working on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to, I'm using remote desktop here to capture the what is on my laptop. And you can kind of see real quick, if I move this, you can kind of see the setup here. Right, so we've got this down here and this up here. And sometimes what I do, if I know I'm going to be drawing a lot, is I'll kind of move everything a little bit closer to me. And this swivels out so I can set it up to where it's a little bit more comfortable, or I can swing it all the way out to the front of my desk and redline that way. So all I'm going to do is come over here and go to the folder I just placed that PDF in. So essentially I'm switching back and forth between two computers here. Looks like this thing is still opening that file. Okay. Those arrows are quite large, aren't they? don't know why we're listening to. Well, I guess it's not really Christmas music. It is still winter, right? So, and we are expecting snow this week, and it's kind of got a good jam to it. So you know, I'll allow it. This doesn't seem right. Where did I see it? I feel like this isn't enough space here. And all I can really do is say something about it because we're not doing the parking lot design. I don't know. Somehow we missed a number in here. Does G2 have the pipe shroud guidelines in here? Yes, yes it does. How much is a Surface? Well, this one was about $3K, about $3 grand for the Surface Book. And is there any particular Surface versus the other? So there's a Surface Books, and then there's like a Surface Pro, which is just the tablet, and then you can get like a keyboard cover for it. Would any touchscreen tablet work for? I mean, yeah, any touchscreen tablet that you can open a PDF on should work. This program Drawboard that I use is specifically for Windows 10. I don't know what Bluebeam can be run on, but if you can run it on Android or Mac, I mean, you can do that. I know that there are other PDF redlining tools that are available. I know, James, I know you use a few, and I'm sure Stix has a few recommendations as well. I mean, do Chromebooks really suck? And that's like saying that your Android phone sucks, because it can do the exact same thing that an Android phone can do. That's exactly what it is an Android phone. I don't know. Let's do this, because Windows 10 can do this. Oh, it did it. Kind of. There we go. Oh, I did the wrong thing. There we go. All right. So we need to show overhead rolling shutter. Whoa. So you can see that it's taken a while for it to process the PDF, and that is a it is a feature, quote unquote, of Freeboard or Drawboard. But I found that the performance isn't much better when you start doing red lines like this and Bluebeam or anything like that. It just takes a while for it to process the entire page. So overhead, did I say auto shutter? Rolling shutter. It is not an auto. Well, so I say it's not. The client isn't really sure. The tentative guess is that it is in fact a manual shutter, and that neither the overhead sectional nor the shutter are powered. So there is that. So we had also discussed I don't know how we missed that. We discussed in these sections needing to point out verify miscellaneous framing required by door manufacturer. And then the same note here. So one of the things that I had thought about wanting to do with this is with this overhang here is like the one design element that we're going to give this guy is that if we're doing some wood construction here, we could put the rafters for the joists for the ceiling going this way, and then we could just put a ceiling in here, and then this would just be exposed, so it'd be like, it would just be trellised like this. And I thought that would be kind of cool to do something like that. But the problem with that is that if we're going to have an 8-foot ceiling, that puts these like up here, right? Which means that this section down here, if these joists are now doing this, that means that this wall has to come up to cover them. And I guess it doesn't have to, but I would prefer that it did. And this is the reason I'm going through this, is because this is working up to that detail that I'm looking at doing here. So this wall would come up here, right? And then the joists would run like that. And I wasn't too sure about this actually, because I think it'd be better to run them between the two walls that we're building. Otherwise we have to somehow attach it to the structure here, right? We have to put something to attach those joists to here, or run a beam across between those walls to attach. It would certainly be simpler to run them this way. So let's think through this real quick. Simple is this right here. Hard ceilings, joists running this way. And it's nice and simple. The hard way is we have the wall, and we have to put a hanging beam right here to attach the joists to, and then we can cantilever that. Like so. And then we've got ceiling here, ceiling here. I guess what I really need to do is I need to open this and see if I actually like the way that this is going to look. Let's do that. So windy. Oh, no more tea. All right. So did this ever open? Yes, it did. Okay, so That's kind of how it works, right? Wood framing, setting a beam on top of a wall to hang joists from. Let's just look and see what we can find here. That's interesting. Steel, but I don't think we need anything that heavy. See, we'll have this wall, and then I have to put something across the top of it. No, we won't have this wall. We'll have the walls on the sides. See, something like this, except we can't attach it to the metal building. See here, maybe Steve. Metal building guys wouldn't like it too much if I attached a beam to hang some old steel joists into their structure, would they? So what I want to do here is I've got right now I've got this, and what I really want is we're gonna do a beam system here, structure beam system. Let's call this, I think, 2x8 joists. See, we're gonna have to put gyp up along that wall anyway. We're gonna have to have a wall up there anyway, because we can't use the panel there. So yeah, I think the more I look at this, the more I think that we're gonna have to have a wall. Right here, regardless. We're not going to be able to we're not going to be able to just leave this. I don't even think they're putting any kind of skin on the inside. I think it's just going to be left open, so we're just going to put a wall in there. I think the storage room we won't need to, but we might as well, because we're going to need that all along the back in order for this to work. All right, so I think that's what we're going to do. So again, let's make sure that this is going to look the way I want it to. Elevation, 8 feet. Layout, beam type. I don't have any beams loaded, so I gotta do that. Insert, load family. Structural framing, wood. I'm gonna say 2x8s. We'll probably get away with less, but we're gonna call it 2x8. Okay, and we're gonna say that that's every. So 2x8. We're back. All right. For some reason, these always come in this top, if we want those to be at bottom. So why do you suppose none of these other ones showed up? It's interesting. Fixed distance, we'll say from the beginning. End. It's a little weird. It shows all of them. I've not seen this happen before. Okay, well, let's just remake that then. Why should we have things that work correctly? We're Autodesk. We don't need things that work correctly. It still didn't make it. I am 100% sure that I do not understand why this is not working right now. Okay, beam type, lumber. Sure. Okay, that works. Is it because I picked lines? No. That was weird. Okay. This is kind of what I'm thinking right here. Yeah, Revit has those built-in troll features. I don't know what to do about them sometimes. So we're gonna bring these walls up to. I selected that. Let's go up to about 9 feet instead, and this one as well. Although, what'll technically happen? I don't know. Do we like that? I'm suddenly not as convinced about this as a design element. This is why we draw things up. I feel like it's less the concept and more my execution in terms of getting this to work. Maybe this is it right here. Can't do that. That's not so bad right there. What if this goes back up? I think it's that. I think that wall going up above it kind of messes with it. But if that wall just goes around it instead. What if instead do maximum spacing, and we can't do clear spacing. What I really want is I want one to be here and one to be here. But apparently we're not allowed to do that? I don't know. Oh, this never posted. There's gotta be a way. There's gotta be a way. 7, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close. I think what we do maximum spacing. So we do this. I think I liked it better with these guys up. Hey, when Revit works correct the first time, it just makes you look really good. Doesn't mean you are good, it just means Revit's making you look good. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna see what the client thinks about this as a functional aesthetic, since we're going to hard ceiling the storage and restroom areas, and we're going to wood frame this to maybe keep costs down, even if, well, I think that would be a good way to do this, but we'll see what he says. Either way, I feel like what we're going to need to do here is we're going to need to add a wall here. Man, it is really windy outside. It sounds like someone's throwing stuff around downstairs. We're going to need to put a wall here. Regardless of what happens. And it's not going to mess anything up. So what we need to do is we need to add wall, add, not app, add wall, move, oh, you know what, yeah, move entire space up to accommodate wall at exterior. And I'm just going to look and see because I'm not entirely sure. Wood partition walls in metal buildings. See, they put a wall right up against there, and that's exactly what I'm looking at doing right there. Entire core. That's another good word for it. Yes. Entire core, entire space, entire, yeah. See, I'm having to do some translation because I'm writing these notes for someone who's really green. Entire core. We'll put core. We'll see how she reacts to that. And then, so this is one of the drawbacks of using remote desktop is I'm using a mouse on one computer to control the screen on another one. So anytime I center click, it starts drawing. But if you're like me, you center click in everything to switch apps. So like I center click here instead of clicking so I don't accidentally select something. So every time I center click to switch over here, it leaves a little mark. Inconvenience at most. So I think what I want to do to get that design, I'm not forgetting anything. How would you access that storage platform? What did I just see? So here we go. Around by 10 a.m. tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you. Sloped roofs in these, yeah, for like dust roll off and things like that. And it wouldn't be a bad idea, but I'm trying to keep it simplistic. And cost effective. The problem is that this is going to be occupied by like 2 or 3 employees. Usually the owner will be there, so we don't have the concern of like having like frat students or something up there. Oh, to deter storage. I don't think it's the architect's responsibility to put deterrent stuff to prevent humans from breaking the law. I don't think that. I mean, except maybe where it's defined by code. If code says that I have to make that a pitched roof so that they can't store anything up there, or the code official comes back and says you have to do that, then sure, we'll go put that back in there. But I don't even think, unless it's code, if it says that you have to put a pitched roof in to prevent people from storing things up there, then I don't even think it's the client's responsibility to pay extra for that. Because where is the line drawn for that? It's like, where do you stop trying to deter people from breaking the law? Do we put bulletproof glass in this because people might shoot at the glass and break it? I forgot where I was at. Which it got me on a... Sure, but then the owner is making a conscious decision to break the law. And honestly, at that point, if they want to store something up there even with pitched roofs, what's to say they don't go in after the fact and put something up there to keep things from sliding off? I mean, that's... That's kind of where I'm going with that. If someone's going to break the law, they're going to break the law. It doesn't matter if an architect designed something to deter it or not. Now, that being said, which do you think, I mean, is it actually in code? Is it codified where I actually have to put up there not for storage? Because the owner is not going to post this drawing up and say, look, here's the instructions on how to use the space above the ceiling. Right? All right, so now to detail this. I think these need to come up to 9 feet. You know what I just realized? Except I drew this off of the preliminary drawings from the metal building manufacturer. All these walls are inset instead of outboard, but that's the package that the client said that they were going to give them, so okay then. I might change some things if they end up going outboard. It moves all the structure way inside. Okay. So that goes to 9 feet. I think I'm just going to zoom in here and draw on this. These go up to 9 feet. Boy, if only I could draw a straight line. 9 foot, 0 inches. And then I already had her move the section once, and I hate asking her to move it again. But I feel like I don't want to show like the sink and all that though. Let's move it. That actually shows a door. I think I moved it there to show a door. Texas tasks, they don't require the vertical bar. Because they're not ANSI, they're ADA. And it might actually be up here on this. Let's see if they may have it drawn up here anyway. Nope. Task does not require the vertical bar. It's optional, but it's not required. See, I still want to pick up this door here, which would put this section back in this bathroom, but I don't. Oh well. Let's just do this. I will say it does take a little bit of time to get used to drawing on a tablet because sometimes the lines just don't work. Texas. Wood framing. No, not timber framing. So this project is in Texas, which is dictated by TAS, Texas Accessibility Standards, which does not require the vertical grab bar. And neither does ADA, actually. It's ANSI. ANSI accessibility requirements require the vertical bar. I'm pretty sure about that. Yep, F in Texas, man. IBC does, yes, IBC is ANSI. But by jurisdiction, state as a whole, Texas as a state has, instead of just adopting IBC, they have the exception to, instead of the IBC accessibility requirements, to use the Texas accessibility standards, which are written and maintained by Texas. What is this distance here? 10 feet. I think we're good. Actually, looks like we could do 2x6s even. I think 2x8's the right size though for the proportions and all that. Let's see what happens if we make this a different size here. Let's go 2x4 and 2x6. Two by six might work. Nope. Oh no. By 8. 2x8 I think works best proportionally. It's overkill. Let's see what happens if we go 2 by... What in the world? No. Let's go 2x6 at... I mean, really, I could still even do 16 inches. But let's, just to see. 2x6 bottom. That's not too bad either. But if we're talking about saving money, I think fewer 2x8 boards. I don't know. What do we think? Saving money. We could do 2x8s. 2x8s are overkill. I could go 24-inch span. Which kind of looks stupid. kind of like the look of it though. That's interesting. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do two by 8 ceiling joists at 16 inches on center. And this section is now going to show I might just have to draw this. After moving section then there's going to be do I have a 2x6 or 2x4? What do you think? Are we gonna have to put thickened slab for the other wall there? Once again, what I'd give to be able to draw a straight line. I could get really fancy and put some reveals in. Right. I don't know. I don't know what the foundation people will say about the interior, because the foundation's meant to bear the load of the structure usually. So I don't know. I think I'll leave that one up to the structural people. I don't know why this line didn't come across. It's a little weird. So these are 2x8 ceiling joist. This is metal building. Inches on center. Go ahead and draw the cabinet in. We're not going to need a floor drain in that bathroom, are we? I don't think we're going to. It's at 8 foot 0 inches. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do what did we decide? Something about plywood on these and half-inch jip on interior side of wall. 5/4, 16 to 5/8 inch, 5/8 jip on the outside. That's right. Okay. What is this? That's 3 inches. Wow, I mean, look. I think she took me literally when I drew it to that size on the sheet. Because that's what she did. She drew it to that size on the sheet. That's funny. I think from here, I think we have some callouts. So I think we have one more step after this, after we get this in, and we talk to the client about it, of getting those details in. I think for now, what I want to do, send him this. Oh, my knee just started hurting. Ambient shadows, cast shadows, what? A little weird. Lighting, ambient lighting, shadows down. Bring that up. Oh, maybe not that bright. I like how we're inside, but changing the sun setting actually affects. There we go. I don't know what's up with this. Let's bring that down to there. You know, I don't know what I was thinking with that. Let's lock this. And then no. Just kidding. Interesting. Nope. I'll get there eventually. Let's see here. 2x8 ceiling joist at 16 inches on center. Okay. Out here. Wall at 9 feet. Okay, ceiling joist. Bottom of 2x8 ceiling joist. That's not what I'm looking for. What am I looking for here? Cantilevered overbreak area. Cantilevered? Cantilevered. Yeah, it's a good point. There is a door in that wall. So, but it's hollow metal. Hollow metal door throat sizes. Standard throat. Not for modular masonry construction. Build as go. So what are we looking at? We're looking at 3.5 inches plus 5/8 of an inch plus half an inch. 4.625 inches, which I believe is that 4 7/8 inch option there, isn't it? No, that's 5/8, isn't it? No, 4 5/8. Half inch and 5/8 inch. So we could do it. We could do it with the 4 7/8 inch, and then we'd have a 1/8 inch caulk line, right? No, 4 7/8 inch throat is pretty common. This isn't a custom application. Because all we're doing is we're taking the one that's got a 5/8 inch rock on each side. Because we're talking about 1/8 inch extra caulking, right? I think this is doable. I mean, Wisha, you tell me if you've experienced problems with that before. Because the reason we're doing 5/8 inch on one side and half on the other is we're using the 5/8 inch jip as the bracing for this, so we don't have to brace all the way up to the ceiling. The whole reason we're doing wood construction and actually doing the construction detailing for this is so that we don't have to brace all the way to the ceiling. We're making this self-supporting. So I would love to hear if you've had experience in the past with problems of doing you know, a different size jip on one side or the other for hollow metal doors. I mean, brace, yeah. I mean, you can't just leave partitions standing. You gotta keep it from doing this. Right? And if I recall correctly, when you have partitions that don't go to deck, you have to brace it some way or another. It either needs to attach to a structure above, or it needs, well, it has to attach to a structure above, or it needs to be supported some way so that it's not going to flop over. Speaking of flopping over, man. Wind is howling outside. All right, so I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to write an email real quick. And hi, I wanted to check to see if you would be interested in acquiring the Home Builders Professional Database so that you can spam everyone like I am spamming you. No. Kevin Godwin. And let's come here to Evan. In order to keep some of your construction costs down and maintain a sense of aesthetics in the building, I had planned on framing the bathroom storage break area in a way which would allow us to not have to brace it to the roof. So those 6 3/4 and 7 3/4 inch, which manufacturer is that for? Thanks for that, by the way. So the H wall configuration 2x8 we find probably. You're probably right. We'll blame MB Steve. He's the one who said that I should put 5/8 inch on one side for lateral bracing. Well, that's, again, not the one that I want. So what did you see? Block or masonry. Did you see something that indicated that those were not standard sizes? Immediately available jam throws, 4 7/8 of an inch. But that's for this manufacturer. So it could come back and, you know, maybe it's not a problem. So. Right, no, there shouldn't be any load-bearing partitions. I'm not putting in that there's any load-bearing partitions. Or keep some of the construction. I plan on framing the bathroom storage bigger when it allows not to brace it to the roof. result of this framing method allows us an opportunity to give your break area a unique aesthetic, which I feel would suit the future plans for your space. I've included a link below. I've included a screenshot of this idea and would like your feedback before moving forward with the detailing of this framing. We would probably want to run this by your contractor and structural guy to make sure we're not costing you more money, which could be saved with another construction method for this area, for these interior partitions. Costing you money. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will gladly get back to you with an answer. Thanks. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Format, insert, pictures. That guy right there. Man. Why you no work? Recent links. Right click to open URL. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. Don't send. Subject Godwin building. Building break area and restroom core design opportunity. Also, if I could ask you to reply all when you respond, that will ensure that the email makes it to our project management software as well. Thanks, have a great day, talk to you soon. Okay. I agree, depends on distributors and all that stuff, and maybe it's a modification that we make depending on what the contractor comes back with. It should be fine. We're not doing CA on this, but I imagine that we'll have to do any kind of RFIs or anything like that. I hope there aren't a lot, though. It's literally a metal building with 5 walls inside. Depends on what the distributor keeps. Should be on your secret door. Yeah, but I don't think, I mean, so correct me if I'm wrong here, that throat size, if I don't see any details, these are very, very general here. We don't have a contractor involved yet, and it makes it very difficult, right? And I'm sure you understand that. So correct me if I'm wrong about these hollow metal doors. If we order a 4 7/8 inch throat hollow metal door, and the thickness from drywall to drywall is 4.5 inches, 4 and 3/4 of an inch. That's 1/8 inch difference. Can that not be caulked? I mean, you're talking about the smallest tick mark possible on most contractors' tape measures. You're going to caulk around it anyway, right? Why pay custom price for an 1/8 inch size? That doesn't make sense. I could be completely wrong about that. There we go. Man, I love Windows 10. Hello, computer. By 8, 16 inches on center. Let's get rid of bring wall up to top of joists. This is at 8 foot 0 inches. Are you having the frame wrap the gypsum board? Yeah, I think yeah, that's the cheap way to do it, right? Where the frame just kind of sits inside the gyp. So like if you get a throat like this, right, and your gyp goes inside of that, right here. So the wall just kind of slides over the gyp. That way you don't have to finish those edges or anything like that. I would imagine that's the cheapest way to do it. What's up, Omar? Most wrapped frames are half inch and leave a 1/16 inch between the frame and the gypsum. So I'm having trouble understanding where you mean that. You mean a 1/16 inch gap between the gyp and the frame? Like this right here. This is what I'm envisioning being the least expensive way to do it. Right there. So you're saying that there's a 1/16 inch gap between the frame and the gyp right there? Man, you can't see what I'm doing because I never switched back. My bad. So right here, this is what I was talking about. You're saying there's a 16th inch gap between the drywall and the frame right there, typically? Column metal door wrap frame. Yeah, wraparound frame. See. Oh. Need to show piece right there and right there. All right, so here's a question. Amanda, how's it going? Wood frame. What does your code review identify the construction type as? Oh, that's a good question. So I'm going back and I'm seeing all these questions from like an hour ago. That's my bad. So, yeah. What did we make this? Well, don't tell me it's not in here. Type 2B. 2B determined. No, 2B determined. Right, that looks right. So I don't see why we would need a custom throat size for for a 1/8 inch difference there. But you all tell me, man. You all have a lot more experience at this than I do. So this needs to go away. We'll add more detail later. Actually, hide grids. Look at that awesome perspective. That's just a beautiful building. What is it? What was it? Frank Lloyd Wright said doctors can kill their mistakes, but architects have to plant landscapes to hide their mistakes. No, you're right. But there's no, I don't think we're roped into that 2B. I don't think that it has to be 2B. We can change that to allow wood construction. I'm not even sure why that was set at 2B. I think it's just because it was a metal building. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm doing a little review on that. See, the problem is that since none of these walls are load-bearing and the structure doesn't rely on any of them, I don't know I don't know how that affects into the construction type. So we don't have fire separation issues. Are those types of construction in which the building elements listed in 601 are non-combustible? 601. Primary structure. Non-bearing walls and partitions is what we're looking for. Type 2B. They don't require 602. Interior walls based on separation. We're okay with there. So I think this is where this is coming in. Okay, so the question is wood framing in type 2B. Yeah, the square footage isn't an issue because it's like 1,600 square feet. Right, so it says types 1 and 2 construction are those types of construction in which the building elements listed in table 601 are of non-combustible materials except as permitted in 603. So let's look at 603. Oh yeah, did I not just see that? Except were permitted in section 603 and elsewhere in the code. Okay, so that's, yeah, okay. Combustible material in types 1 and 2. Partitions dividing portions of stores, offices, or similar places occupied by one tenant only and that do not establish a corridor serving an occupant load of 30 or more shall be permitted to be constructed of fire retardant treated wood. 1 hour fire resistance rated construction, or of wood panels or similar light construction up to 6 feet high. So I could use this, I could use wood construction if I use a 1 hour UL rated wall. Because it's only one tenant and it's not for a corridor that serves an occupant load of 30 or more people. So yeah, let's look real quick just to see. Can I make it type 4 if there's no heavy timber though? Wouldn't I just be better off making it type 5? Man, it's getting crowded up in that chat room, man. I mean, really, it should be type 3. Yeah, minimum square foot building type 5 is 9,000 square feet. And we're at 1,600 square feet. So I could just change it to type 5 and not worry about that. Okay, that makes more sense. I'd love for it to be type 4, but this isn't one of those clients. So the next question is, UL wall. Do they still have the wizard? I haven't even had to look at this in forever. Fire rated walls, specific parameters, assembly type, walls and partitions, protection type, wood stud, gypsum, 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 gypsum. No. Hourly rating, I guess greater than 1 hour. So then the thing is that I have to look and see if there's one that has, yeah, then I might as well do 5/8 inch on each side, right? What is this? Ooh. Yeah, I could just do 5/8 inch thick on each one. S1 or S2. This isn't storage, it's office building. It's business, B. So that means we need to look at this rate here. Need UL for interior partitions or fire retardant wood. This is one of those places where it'd be beneficial for the client to have a contractor in place to help ping some of these thoughts off of. I'm going to go ahead and save that. By the way, I appreciate everyone who's watching and participating. It's been fun. Tiring, but fun. Let's clean up. That James, is between the client and the city officials, because that is a discussion that they have already had before he came to us for the design documents. And it's a discussion that I have documented in email correspondence as having talked to the client about. So we're kind of covered on that. This isn't something where I'm trying to help the owner get away with something. I've explained to him my thoughts on that, and he promises that he's going to use it in the manner according to what the city has held him to use it as. And if he decides to do that, that's between him and the city. I think this is done for now. I think save as. So then I sync it back to OneDrive, and then I can just copy it back across to my network. I used to VPN from in for my laptop, but then it messed up all my streaming stuff, and the game became a mess. So I just decided to use OneDrive to go back and forth, which works. Amanda, I don't know, are you still on? Is Amanda still watching? Doesn't seem to be. All right. I don't want to add that to do yet. We need to do it, but I'm not going to add that to do yet. We need to do something for else. Get her working on something else, which I'm going to go ahead and find. Nope. What is house? The X drive. I think this is under, said it was under renovations. Ooh, that hurt. Randy and K. Lester. House. Still saving? No, it's done saving. So let's go ahead and close that. And let's take a look at what needs to be done on this. Let's go to Lester. Nope. Don't tell me there's not a project for it. Home. Project. Lester. There's no project for it? That doesn't make any sense. Project. Okay. Lester. So are they doing it by last name? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna invite some people to it. Courtney, Jerome, Sarah, printing. There we go. To-dos, instruction documents, station engineering. Engineering's done. We need detailing. Detailing assigned to Courtney. Begin by reviewing the structural documents for a few other projects. Use Cherney as an example, as well as where are some of those other ones that I used? Let's see. Let's go ahead and get this in here. Probably want to look at something that's been completed recently. Okay, that would be a good one. I have a feeling this does not include structural. Nope. Use Cherney as well as the areas pack house documents. Then let's go look at Cherney. Wow, that's a really big set of drawings. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for today. And then I've jacked up my camera. And I'll be back tomorrow, but for now, I think that's going to be it. Tomorrow I'll get some more Redlines and tutoring and all that fun stuff. But thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you interacting with me and keeping me honest. Yeah. Thanks again. Have a great evening, and we will talk to you later.